Hello, welcome to Hooking Up with Books. If you are new here, this is a series on my channel. I co-host this with CraftablyEverAfter, Cassandra, and we basically read a great book because they've all been great except one. They've all been great, and so we take the book, we read it, and then we crochet something based off our inspiration from that book. And it can be very loosely attached. So let's say we read Cinderella. You could make a doll. You could make a witch. You can make all kinds of things. It's very easily. Sometimes you could just even use the colors of the book if you don't even want to read it. It's just inspiration from the cover or the colors, or if there's a movie related to it, a character. It's so loosely based. It's a very easy to do, but it's a lot of fun because it adds a little bit of a challenge and creativity to try and make something based off your reading. I've seen on Instagram that some people make a granny square for each book they read each year. And I think there's a YouTube channel that does that as well, where she's making a square based off the colors of one of the books she's reading at that time. So it's very easy to do, very cool. And I would like to do that as well, like make a square for every book that we've read and put it together as a memory of our first year of hooking up with books. This has been a lot of fun. I'm not gonna throw this project. So what I made is to represent the ending of this book. Now, the feedback that I got from The Giver, the book is The Giver by Lois Lowry. This is one of my favorite books. And the reason why I picked it is because it is so interesting, and it really is a book to talk about. It has so many interesting aspects of it and so many conversations to start, because I'm not going to tell you any spoilers, but basically this is Pleasantville. If you haven't seen Pleasantville, this book represents kind of Pleasantville. It's that secluded, trying to protect you from everything type thing, black and white. And in fact, I'm going to go watch Pleasantville now, because I wanted to watch it when I first started this and then I forgot about it. So now that I've reminded, I'm going to go watch the movie. So I can't throw my project, but mine represents the ending of the story, and it's one of hope. So here we go. Dun dun dun. Okay, let's talk about this. Let me turn off the light. Well, I'll try and take a video of it so that you can see it even better, because my light from the window is popping in as well. But so this little baby, these are little cottages. At the ending of the story, oh, I guess I can't tell you if, well, okay, spoiler alert. I don't know what to tell you. It's one of hope, and this is what he sees at the end. So I wanted to represent the hope and the ending that happened. These are little cottages, and they have a tea light at the bottom. And it's so cool. Now, this little project took some time because you embroider all these little tiny flowers, and you could use French knots. Sometimes I could do the French knot, and sometimes I could not do the French knot. So it's a little messy at some points. And then the yarn. So I like the white one better, but you can't see it because of the light shining through the window, but it looks really pretty. But I like the color that the green pops out and the flowers pop out. I also like the yellow one a lot. And then this one is a yellow one, but it has more of a dusky brown to it. And I want to say this light isn't as bright, or it could be that this is much darker from the top portion here. so it's not as bright. But when you see these at night, they are super pretty. Okay, so these little cottages is a design by Elia Linda Designs. And I just used this board that I found at the Dollar Tree. It's a circle, and it has a hanger. See, I still have my tag on it because I'm not sure if this is what I want to use it for or hang it. This came from I always call them trolls. A gnome that I got at the Dollar Tree. And it was the hat. So I thought, oh, that's pretty. It's sparkly. It's like a, you know what. So try not to share too many details. I'm going to turn the light back on. Try not to share too many details. But the pattern also comes with making little trees. But I used a very thick yarn, and I should have used, and the reason why is because I didn't want to come upstairs to find thin yarn. And I used what was next to me, which was scraps, which is why it's in two different yarns. I couldn't be bothered to come upstairs. I was in my chair. So here we go. It's very pretty. I love these little cottages and their little light ups. So yeah, and in the pattern, you can put a bead up here. I don't want to show a picture, but you could put a bead and a little hook to where you can hang this, and this could be an ornament. How cute would that be? But you know, I don't know how these lights only light up for 100. They say LED lights. 360 total hours, which means 120 hours each. I highly doubt that they would light even that long. So this 120 hours. But that would be nice on a Christmas tree or on a stocking or hanging it on a little desk, little Christmas tree, something small. It's really tiny. And then if you use a very thin yarn, which I did try to use. So I really liked this one, Peyton's Grace. And I found this at Michael's. It's by Yarnspirations. And this color is ginger. And I don't remember what the red color was. But I made my roses out of it. So this is the Peyton's Grace. And that is the one that I like the most. But I didn't make a house in this color because I wanted the green to pop on the bottom of the cottages. So I didn't use the green for that. I used the green here on this house. But found it to be too light. But I really like that yarn for the size that it is. So you have to use a thin weight yarn in order for this tea light to fit. Because if it's not, then it'll be too big. But what she did in the pattern is you can glue it to the side. You could add a little bit of glue and then it'll be there forever, and then you just replace the battery. I think you could replace the batteries. So that is super cool, and I really love this design, and I really like it. What do you think? Do you like the little cottages? All right. So on to the show. This book was awesome, and I only got one that said, I can't read this book. Dystopians aren't for me. You know who you are. Okay, so let's start with the first. Okay, so this first one is by Diane, who is her first time joining Hooking Up with Books. So thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you here. And this is her project. She made the apple, of course. And then you can see that little peak of red for when Jonah, this was a very significant part of the story, when he starts to see color. And the color that shows up for him is red first. And so that is her project. So thank you so much for sharing. This is a lovely apple, and I love that it has that little bit of red. Okay, and then on to Janda. Thank you again for joining in. She is someone who's participated. She has participated in our crochet alongs before. She is very happy that now our time slot is now 2 months, and that seems to be the consensus on quite a few. I got, yes, 2 months is great, so we're going to stick with the 2 months. But she also made an apple, and if you look at hers, she has a color transition, and she found this pattern on the burgundy basket on Etsy. And what's interesting about her apple is she didn't do color changes in the pattern. She used cross stitch. So this is what cross stitch transition of the color looks like on the apple, whereas the first one it looked like they changed color in their pattern. And so I really love that. So thank you so much. Okay, and then next we have Jasmine, the Proud Protea. She has a YouTube channel called the Proud Protea, and she did quite a few projects. And hers represented kind of like the memories, the first memory of love. And here it is. She made a present because there's a memory of Christmas and just the love. And then snowflake, so when he first experiences snow and how cold it is. And then she tried to make the snowflake again in a very thick yarn. It reminds me of a hair tie. When I first saw it, I thought it was a scrunchie, but she was using a very, very thick yarn to make another snowflake. So yeah, she based her project on the memories of love, which is awesome. So thank you for sharing, Jasmine. Okay, and then I think we have another new one, and her name is Tanisha. Welcome, Tanisha, to Hooking Up with Books. We're so glad to have you here. I hope you participate again because your project is awesome as well. And she said that this is one of her favorite books. It was one of my favorite books too. So I had read this back in college, and I hadn't read it again until my sons were like middle school, and then I read it again with them. And so I haven't read it in like 10, 15 years. So this was a nice reread of an old favorite, and it's still so good. So yes, this was a favorite of hers, and she just couldn't help. She wanted to make something extravagant, but she just like, I have to make the apple. So she made the apple. and you could tell because everyone who read it, that was just, that stuck out. The apple, when he first starts to see color. Thank you again for participating. Okay, and then next up is Shondell at Classy Handmade, another YouTube channel, and she made the comfort animal that Gabriel had. So Gabriel is a big part of the story, and in the story, if you're of a certain, every age, you get something different. So I think 8 years old, you get a bike. You don't get it before, and you don't get it. That's the year you get a bike. And when every baby is born, they get a comfort animal. And then at the age that you get a bike, you get your comfort animal taken away. So it's just so cool. And okay, so she made the comfort animal of Gabriel, which is, an elephant? No. What was it? Not sure if it was a rhinoceros or a hippo. I don't remember, because there is no animals in this story. Well, there is animals, but only in fictional form. Like, they haven't been seen or heard of in ages. So they only had stuffed animals, and sometimes they didn't even know what that stuffed animal was. Like, they thought it was another animal, but they were calling it an elephant. It's really weird. I can't remember all the details, but she made a comfort animal that Gabriel had. So there's her picture. So cute. I really love it. Thanks for sharing, Shondell. I'm glad you were able to participate. Okay, and then we have Carlotta. Carlotta, thank you so much for joining in. So she always makes great projects. And the doll this doll here represents Fiona, which is one of Jonah's very good friends. And because he's starting to see color, he sees her red hair. And then all of their clothes are very plain or uniform like, because you don't see color. So she did try to make her represent Fiona very well. And I love this doll because it's plain but pretty. And that's who Fiona was. She was dressed plain, but she was a beautiful girl. Okay, and then she also made, also the pattern is called Fiona, and the pattern design was by Carla Vigliucci. And I will try to list these patterns down below, but if I can't find them, I can't find them. And then also she made the elephant to represent Lily's comfort animal, which is Jonah's little sister. And so she's on the verge of turning 8, I believe. And so she still has her comfort animal, but there's a lot of discussion about how this is the time that she needs to let go of it. So she made Lily's comfort animal, and this one came from a book that I have. She's one of the designers I really love. From Cuddly Amigurumi, Marililio. I'm not sure how you say that, but it's too hard. But this is the animal she made. So I thank you so much. That was awesome. And yeah, her projects are so great. And that is all of them. But wait, there's more. So our next book is this one, and there is a movie of this. It won an Academy Award. It's a very short cartoon. It is so good. You can probably even find it on YouTube or have it read to you on YouTube, because it is such a short story, and it's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. And unfortunately, if you are a young one, you might not be able to read it because it's in cursive. But it is just a heartwarming story. And it just has so many things, so many quotable things. Like every page is quotable. Great book. So this is our next book. It starts now, and then 2 months from now, you got 2 months time. But look at, you don't even have to read the book. The boy, the mole, the horse, and the fox. I said it wrong, but you can make any one of those and participate. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful story. Okay. And then our last book, Cassandra came through. She has a book for us, and it is one that you can get. And it's also a movie. It's a weird and long title, so it's called The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society, and it's a novel by Mary Ann Schaefer. I'll put a picture. This was really popular a few years ago. Like, it was extremely popular, and the movie was popular, and all I heard was that it was really good. This is a historical. I'm not sure how fiction it is or not, but it's historical. Very cool book. I already almost finished with it. I have read 3 more books, so I read a lot. And I read The Giver like that first 3 days because it was such a fast read. But the Potato Guernsey is a little bit longer, so the 2 months time will work well. That book is long, but you can watch the movie and participate. So come join along. We're so glad you're here, and thank you so much for watching. I look forward to hooking up with books with you again soon. Bye.